Poetry is motion. Poetry is emotion. Poetry is he motion. Poetry is her motion. Poetry is hurt motion.
Hello, everybody. I'm Stephen Pitters, and welcome to the Spokane Open Poetry Program here at KYRS Medical Lake Spokane 88.1 and 92.3 FM. This is Thin Air Community Radio, and we are on the stream at www.kyrs.org, where the young, the old, and the in-between gather to share their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. My special guest today is the noted poet, musician, Alex Manzoni. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Stephen.
All right. And you know, the mission of the Spokane Open Poetry Program is to make available to poets and others the opportunity to share their literary works and musical skill. But Alex, it's time for the thank you minute. So who do you know that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I'd like to say hi to my girlfriend Sophia, my mother Virginia, and my brother Nicholas, and my sound engineering teacher Michael Tarsia in Philadelphia, PA.
All right. And I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend Robert Stern in New Jersey, and my very dear person Hallie in Spokane. Okay, that having been done, I am going to read a poem, and then I'm going to turn this show over to Alex. The piece is called Hearts Pray. Every day his heart prays for one's love to be disturbed and sore after meeting its fate at the distinct juncture where her heavenly kiss manifested itself. The affected agile sentiment prevailed, unrestrained like a stream of imagined yearning without debate. Passion untainted forged the shape of her heart, whose will did not dispute the distributed flow of her gracious, delighted regard. At a gentle pace I entered a shaded curve bordering the river. My heart, lacking belief, halted emphatically and was left adrift before Maria and I in unison said, "Hello." I had nowhere else to go. My duration on the planet had met its catch. Nothing going forward without her mattered thereafter. The King of Hearts was torn apart, the Queen of Spades voided. I began to talk excessively afterwards, then stalled as if nothing was worth exclaiming. Darkness filled my space. Seconds later, she was only a trace, her black and red ensemble disappearing, floating around the bend. I was parted in half like a hammer smashing the spirit of my beginning. Inwardly, I cried like a baby, feeling lost instead of giggling. I left the theater without further imbibing the presence of nature's unvarnished luster. Heaven plucked me into its divine embrace. What could I accept when nothing otherwise was left there to compare? If you're just tuning in, this is the Spokane Open Poetry Program here at KYRS, Medical Lake Spokane 88.1 and 92.3 FM. Now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy the music and words of Alex Manzoni. Alex, your show.
Hello. The first song is called The Spokane Story. It's based on my novel and also poetry that I wrote when I came to Spokane. I spent 3 months living on the streets at the House of Charity and at the UGM Mission, and I saw a lot of crazy stuff. And once I got off the streets, I knew there was a story and I had to write it. And once I wrote the novel, I wrote some poetry about it, and then I decided to write music for the novel, and that's what this is.
All right, so let's sit back and listen to this interesting compilation.
Live my life at Spokane Story. Live my life at Spokane Story. Every day and every night. Living out here for the past 3 years. And while I've been here, I've seen and been through a lot of things. Things you might not even believe. It's all in the book. Live my life at Spokane Story. Live my life at Spokane Story. Pete and the old man. Pete and the old man. Two Methodists
tinkers with a plan to rob the store, to make meth. Make meth in the back of an RV, the Odyssey. Maybe they seen too much TV. Still, either way, the wheels are set in motion. The clock ticks on till it's time to be gone, because the cops might be coming. You're out there cooking in public, out by the Mission, down by the Spokane River. Living my life in Spokane Story. Living my life in Spokane Story. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from the shadow people. You will not believe the things they have to tell you. Like the little man living in the tower, the fortress on Pete's
Radio edit.
On Pete's
Radio edit.
On Pete's
Radio edit.
Oh my. On Pete's
Radio edit.
a microcosm. An anomaly. An abstract thing and not simply just a psychotic hallucination. Addiction brings out lamentations. Violently paranoid ideations. Remain at your station. Keep your head together. Try to remember it's now or never. Live my life in Spokane Story. Live my life in Spokane Story. Every day and every night. Every day and every night. And you know from what I can tell, something still ain't right. Then I ran into Casey, lost nose, toes, and fingertips, and of course he was
Radio edit.
crazy. Never wore a shirt, kind of like Randy. Living my life, it's a Spokane Story. Every day and every night. What's the old man doing now? What's he going to show us? Oh no, it's his gun. Time to have a lot of fun. Oh boy. Madness. Live my life in Spokane Story. Live my life in Spokane Story. Every day and every night. No, something still ain't right. Well, them boys over there, they got some serious problems. I don't know what they're doing, but I see they're cooking up something. Yeah.
All right, live your life in Spokane Story.
Oh yeah.
That's an incredible piece.
Well, thank you, Stephen.
Now, I mean, you rolled it out there saying, you know, what happened to you when you first came to Spokane, which is why did you come to Spokane?
My mother sold the house, and my brother moved to Spokane on a whim with his wife. And then my mom moved out here, and at the time I was on probation for possession of heroin and conspiracy and stuff like that. So I had to wait like about a few months before I could come out here. And when I got here, there wasn't really a place for me to sleep because I was still in the middle of my addiction and nobody wanted me in their house. So I hit the streets and just went to all the charitable organizations and eventually got an apartment. And I haven't looked back, you know?
Mm-hmm. Great. Again, how did you put this piece together? I mean, because it's like you're telling your story, but the music and everything, all of the background,
Well, I use Logic on my Apple, and I write out each individual note, and I'll go and I'll make drum tracks, and really spend a lot of time like just concentrating on that and trying to make a great beat. And I just do it just a little bit at a time over the course of like a couple of weeks. And I'll go on the internet, and there's like this site freesfx.co/UK, where they have free sound effects, and that's where you get the cop sound, you know, the sirens and things like that. And then I write the words afterwards.
Okay. Now, you mentioned you wrote a book.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the book.
The Spokane Story is the story of a father and son, meth cook, living on the streets of Spokane in an RV, getting into trouble. I haven't published it yet. I wrote it back in 2015, finished it 2016, and since then I've been sending it to publishers, and I'm still waiting to hear back from, you know, some of them, because it's so offensive and sick that it's difficult to find a market for something like that. But it's darkly humorous. I try to put everything into perspective that I saw on the streets, and like the stories that people told me, and just try to find humor in it, because when I was at the lowest of my life, dealing with my bipolar disorder and all that, I just had to find just
An outlet.
Yeah, some outlet, and then I kept getting more outlets. So first you get the poetry, then you get the writing, then you get the music. So you got everything on top of it.
Okay, so is there another track that you want to play?
This next one's a little bit closer to home. It's actually about that apartment that I lived in. This is called "Don't Leave Your Man for Your Meth Dealer."
Okay, don't leave your man for the meth dealer. Let's hear it.
He got money, but he don't have the same feelings for you that your man does. This is a message for all you sitting out in front of the liquor store at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, screaming, staring at your cell phone, wondering why he ain't calling you back. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. The message itself couldn't be clearer. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Even if you think you need the drugs now. When the dust settles down and he's sticking it to some out-of-town painted party clown, you'll look around and see that he's gone. Why does this have to be a song? Oh no, why did you close that door? Why are you headed out in such a hurry? To see the man in the charcoal back Pontiac, Firebird decal, deuce pointed to you. What a pal! Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't leave him. Don't leave your man. Don't leave your man. Be faithful and keep it to him. Keep your heart close to him and stay together. You don't know what's going to happen in the future. The ones that love you, they'll take care of you. But the drug dealer, he ain't going to do that. He ain't going to do that. No. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't do it. Don't leave him now. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't leave him. Don't turn your back on your man. Don't do it, man. Oh no, why did you close that door? Late one night, the drug dealer comes. Pontiac, charcoal black. Late one night, the drug dealer comes, Pontiac, Choco Black. Late one night, the drug dealer comes, Pontiac, Choco Black. Late one night, the drug dealer he comes, Pontiac, Choco Black. Ow. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Drugs coming also you know. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. Don't do it, don't leave your man, no matter what happens. Ah. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer, don't do it. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer.
All right. Don't leave your man for your meth dealer. I mean, an interesting style. How did you come about developing your style?
Well, I'm a big fan of Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart. Those types of like really experimental, humorous musicians that, they never really achieved much mainstream success, but I just kind of thought that it fit well with the kind of humor I was trying to go for.
Mm-hmm. And so you've been writing for how long?
I've been playing music since 1996, recording music since 2006, and I've been writing poetry since 1997.
Mm-hmm. And so now you're here in Spokane, you're making adjustments to the Spokane scene, so to speak.
It's amazing. Well, it's crazy. It's back east. All my friends are dying from heroin overdoses, and I came here, and I never saw tweakers before or meth, and I had a drug problem, and I thought that might be a good thing to do. So I tried doing meth for a while, and it made me completely lose my mind. Like the hallucinations that I'm describing in my songs, those are hallucinations that I had. Mm-hmm. And it's just like the darkest place I've ever been. And once I got out of that, I realized that I could do anything.
All right.
Except more meth.
Okay. Folks, if you're just tuning in, this is the Spokane Open Poetry Program here at KYRS Medical Lake Spokane, 88.1 and 92.3 FM. If you'd like to be a guest, all you need to do is give us a call at 509-747-3807 and leave your name and number. Or if you go to www.kyrs.org, that's KYRS right here, Thin Air Community Radio, you'll find all the DJs located on our main page. You can just scroll your way down. When you find the Spokane Open Poetry Program, just click on that and you can send me a text and I'll get back in touch with you. Or again, you can just send it, and we all have boxes so we can find out who is trying to get in touch with us, and we'll make it happen. And you too will have the opportunity to come into the studio, and we'll record you, and that is the way it goes. Right now we have Alex Manzoni in the studio with us today, and he's giving us an overview of his life with a mixture of song and prose thrown in, a unique form. And where do you see yourself going with what you're doing now, Alex?
I'm not really sure. This has actually been a big push for me because this is the first time my music's ever been on the radio. So before, I was just kind of making music to add to my podcast and videos I'd been doing. Mm-hmm. So now I think maybe I could start developing my skills even more and then expand upon that. Because I used to think that I was going to be a sound engineer to record people, and then I tried doing that. And I realized that I'm not a great people person, which is why I have never been in a band. And people were taking advantage of me, and I ended up getting a stalker. And that's when I was like, all right, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not fun.
Okay. Well, you have another track that you want to play?
Yes. This is a piece that's an instrumental piece that's based on poetry. It's called Mixed Mania. It's from my epic poem. It's called The Redemption of Scooter Reno, about a lawyer that dies and he goes to limbo where he has to go to court. And it's darkly humorous and just full of all kinds of crazy characters and situations. Okay. But this is a classical piece.
All right, so let's hear that particular piece. interesting piece, an interesting piece right here. All right. Whew. Wow.
Thank you.
I like the classic. mean,
I do. It was inspired by Tchaikovsky and like mixed with like Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Well, collaboration is the name of the game when
Oh,
it comes
yes.
to art. Again, so you've been here in Spokane for a while, playing music, writing some poetry. Do you intend to stay in Spokane?
Oh, I'm
or-
staying in Spokane. My girlfriend and her parents just bought a house in the Audubon neighborhood, and we're going to be here for the long haul.
All right.
The
great.
long haul.
That's great. That's great. Well, since we've had the pleasure of your company and heard your music, I think, as they say, it's time to say goodbye. So, for Alex Manzoni, I'm Stephen Pitters, your host for this edition of the Spokane Open Poetry Program here at KYRS Medical Lake Spokane 88.1 and 92.3 FM. Alex, great having you on the show.
Thank you so much, Stephen. This has been great. I love it.
Now it's time for us to say adieu, adieu, and we are out of here.